joined as always by my co-host Quentin Crisco. It's Christmas time, Christmas vibes in the air. NFL wrapping up. How are we doing tonight, man?
Coming off a winning week, man. You know what that means? I get to go
Gotta
buy
pull
new
out the
bling
Bling
and the bunny
bling.
suit. Oh yeah, winning
Bunny
week's
suit
been
making a
hard to come
comeback.
by lately, but that means new bling when I have one.
You got to get it
My
while it's
name-
hot.
My name's Quentin Crisco. You can find me on Twitter at BuckHisStats. You can find the podcast on Twitter at shaving_points. That's PTS_pod. And go check out our website. All our picks, all the model picks are up there. That's shaving-points.com. And before we get too deep into this, Jay, I want to hit you with a hard-hitting question.
Okay.
Okay. So, Ripley, would you rather?
Patrick Mahomes.
It's a good answer, but it's not an option, unfortunately. So, would you rather see Gardner Minshew win in dominating fashion this week, creating a QB controversy that leads the Eagles all the way to the Super Bowl before losing to your first choice, Patrick Mahomes? Or see the Cowboys absolutely destroy the Eagles this week, but both teams end up losing in the divisional round?
Cowboys win this week, and we're going to lose in the divisional round either way. So if the Eagles also lose in the divisional round, I will take the Cowboys dominating the Eagles this week with Gardner Minshew and both teams losing in the divisional round. That would be perfect.
Don't you think losing a Super Bowl hurts more than losing in the divisional round?
But if they make the Super Bowl, that means they might win the Super Bowl.
No, but then
Like,
in this scenario,
if you guarantee me a loss, but like I don't know, I don't know.
that's what the question is. So they will not win the Super Bowl. They're going to get there. Gardner Minshew's created a giant
to
QB
Mahomes.
controversy in Philly, and they lose to Patrick Mahomes.
So I'm taking this hypothetical purely as Mahomes gets himself another ring. So I guess I'll take that one.
Okay, I went through a lot of mental gymnastics to make this one.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, our boy Fat Pat gets another ring. I'll be happy with that. I mean, I'm fully on the wagon of we're probably going to lose this weekend anyway. We got some major defensive injuries going on right now. Hopefully, we can get some of that cleaned up before the playoffs start. But as a Cowboys fan right now, I'm just focused on getting healthy. You want to look at last week's slate real quick?
Let's do it.
Talk about the record. We're coming down to the wire here. I mean, what was it? 3 weeks ago, I was up 14 units on you. Slowly closing the gap. 6-unit difference. I'm 51-47 on the season after going 2-3 last week. You were 56-58, but unfortunately down 4.5 units. Last week, I hit with San Francisco -3.5. Lost on Baltimore -3. What a shit game. Got the over in the Miami Buffalo game. Snowballs everywhere. Incredible game. Incredible atmosphere. Tua may not be bad in cold weather. Who knows?
Yeah.
I had the over in Detroit, New York. Zach Wilson got the start. I thought Mike White was going to start that game when we had the pod last week, and I left it alone because I was like, I don't know, Detroit's got enough weapons. Jets have enough weapons. They'll still get that over. It ended up 40. Quite unfortunate. Then I had the under 38.5 in Pittsburgh versus Carolina, which Pittsburgh just found offense in the first quarter and a half. They had 17 points in the first quarter and a half, and I missed that by 1.5 points. So that's
I was
brutal.
about to say, wasn't the final 40 on that? Like, it's not like you really missed that. Like, the idea was right. It was just the
Pittsburgh
number
just
was
got hot early.
much different.
They scored 17 points in the first 9 minutes and ended up scoring, 24? Like, they scored 7 more after that. I'm just stupid.
So I actually missed most of the Saturday games except for chunk of Buffalo, Miami, because I was at a wedding in Florida, being Florida man for the second time this season all weekend. But Baltimore +3, I didn't see it. Tyler Huntley, that offense was broken if they only scored 3 points. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I didn't catch that game either. I was at my grandparents', and for some reason they didn't get NFL Network,
But
which is crazy. I thought it
the
was on every
reason
base Halo package.
the reason I took the under 38.5 was because I said the only way Baltimore doesn't cover 3 is if their offense is completely broken. So I come out even on that game.
Yeah.
Won one, lost one. Pittsburgh money line at plus 115. That was an easy win. Like I said last week, 2 teams who I think are relatively even talent-wise. Give me the team that's better in the trenches. That's Pittsburgh. Cincy minus 3.5. That one started off pretty rough, but ended up being pretty easy in the end.
I love that
Then-
Cincy money line. So
Yeah, Cincy might be entering Kansas City territory of if they are trailing in the first half.
they're so
take their
incredible
money
in the
line
second
live.
half. They're
Yeah.
like going back to last year. Like they're so incredible in the second half.
Yeah. And then New York Giants plus 4.5. This one was these two teams seem relatively similar, and 4.5 seemed like too many points for 2 teams that are relatively similar.
And they won
So just
pretty easily.
Give me the dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they actually won. I wish I did money line. Denver minus 2.5, the most disgusting bet I've taken all season long. Paid off.
Brett Rippon.
Brett Rippon, baby. Let's go.
Did you know his uncle played in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I'm all about the Rippons.
So that's become the most annoying stat in the NFL. And now it's like, okay, we get it. Like it's I don't know how often you watch the Brett Rippon broadcast against the mighty Arizona Cardinals. But
Well, I mean, it's must see TV.
yeah, they
you know what his
brought it up
uncle
about
did?
14 times.
And then Detroit minus 1. I just thought they were the better team, so I took them.
Yeah.
Easy win. And then
Easy win.
last one was a late ad of Buffalo minus 7. Multiple chances to cover that number, and it hurt.
Yeah,
at
Miami
the
stuck
end.
around.
Well, not even that Miami stuck around. That the running back pretty much just took a knee at like the 3-yard line instead of running
At
in
the end
for a
of the game.
touchdown. At least it would have
Yeah.
gotten a push, and like they had a chance for a field goal that they didn't hit. I think.
that would be
Let's get into
crucial.
this week.
All right, we have NFL Week 16. It is the holiday season. It is Christmas season. There's going to be little lights around the score bugs. I'm so excited. We might get some snow. Coldest weekend of the year so far. Should be crazy. Under. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's all overs. Model loves overs. I don't know what to expect yet, but we'll try to.
The model
There's
does not take into account the sub 15-degree weather all over the country this weekend. So
Yes.
be very careful with the overs in the model this week.
Absolutely, my good friend. And we'll try to go a little bit quicker through these, not kind of lag around. But we got the first game. We have Jacksonville Jaguars, one of the hottest teams in football, going to the New York Football Jets. I had this at a pick 'em. You have Jets minus 1. Either way, total 38.5. Model likes the Jets. Model likes the over. What are your thoughts on this one?
So at first, I liked the Jags until I went and looked at the strength of schedule differences and some of the cover numbers here. And I still liked the Jags, but I liked the over more because as I looked into the numbers, Jacksonville's hit over 54 points in their games, or like the combined points in their games has hit over 54 points in 4 straight games. They've hit over 38 points in 11 of their 14 games. And the Jets have been under 38 in 7 of their 14. So I was sitting here thinking, man, I really like the total. Why is it so low? And I go check the weather. It's supposed to be 44 degrees with heavy rain. Heavy rain means I'm out on Jacksonville and the over. I don't want to touch it.
Okay. Well, to be fair, it does rain in Georgia, where our good buddy Trevor Lawrence has grown up, and it rains in Florida. I have over 38 as a rise and shine play. If I rise and shine and say I like the over, I'm taking the over. So that is depends on how I feel when I wake up. I will not be taking the under. But that's just how I feel when I wake up, what I do. But I have the Jags money line in this game. Like I said, it was a pick 'em for me, so I got Jags money line minus 110 here. I just think they're playing really well right now. They're running the ball well. That defense is playing much better than they were. Zach Wilson, I'm assuming, is going to be starting again. Mike White apparently went to like 7 independent doctors trying to get cleared last week, and they're like, "No, you have like 4 broken ribs," and I don't think 4 broken ribs healing them 3 days span. So I'm assuming Mike White's not playing again, but
Yeah.
if Mike White is starting and is healthy for this game, I may reconsider. But as of right now, if it's Zach Wilson versus Trevor Lawrence on Thursday Night Football, I think Trevor Lawrence is just a much better quarterback, and Jags are playing much more complete football right now. So even in the bad weather, I think Jags have the pieces to win in cold weather. Evan Ingram, by the way, just quietly is become the best tight end in the league.
Yeah. I mean, he's always had the talent. Like, see, I thought his usage in New York was weird.
Or by the Giants.
Yeah.
He got
But
cut.
he didn't get cut. I thought he just wasn't re-signed.
I thought he was cut. He was a first-round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I could have
His
sworn
fifth-year
he was on
option
his
didn't
fourth
get
year.
picked up, I don't think. But
I could have sworn this
he
was year
didn't
4
get
for him.
cut. I mean, he put up a really good year somewhere in there, and like his usage was weird there. Pat
didn't
Shurmur called an offense
was it-
that did not play to him, and
Didn't he like go to like 5 different teams in the offseason and like couldn't stay on a practice squad?
no, I think you're getting them mixed up.
What am I thinking about?
The Jags gave him a bag.
Did they?
Yeah.
He's paid?
Yep.
Who am I thinking about? That bounced around. He was on the Texans, on the Chiefs.
OJ Howard.
There we go. Sorry.
Okay.
Getting my tight ends
There's
mixed up. I apologize.
That game, man, it's not cold that gets me. It's only supposed to be 44. It's just heavy rain. Weird shit happens in downpours, and that's the reason I'm just staying away. But
Yeah.
like I said, I initially liked the Jags a lot. It's just weird stuff happens in heavy rain games.
Both of these defenses are opportunistic as well. So you might get it over with some defensive touchdowns.
It's
Who
possible.
knows? But I'll let Jags money line here as long as Trevor Lawrence doesn't think he can throw against Sauce Gardner, because nobody can. Moving on. Look, this one will be quick. Houston versus Tennessee. Tennessee 6.5-point favorites. Houston's covered in back-to-back weeks as heavy underdogs. Almost won outright. Total 37. Model likes Houston. Model likes the over. What do you got here?
So, yeah, like you said, Houston's covered 2 weeks in a row against better teams than the Titans. Covered this number 2 weeks in a row against better teams than the Titans. But Tennessee is going to be playing Malik Willis in this game. It just came out today. And that means they're going to lean into Tractor Cito. Derrick Henry's going to be the offense.
Derrick Henry. I wish I had the exact number here, but I'm pretty sure Derrick Henry has more 200 plus rushing yard games versus specifically the Texans than like if all of his 200 plus rushing yard games only against the Texans were the only 200 yard games he had, he would still be like third on the list for the most 200 yard rushing games like in a career. He's had like 4 of them.
So that actually ties in with the next thing I was going to say. Houston's allowed 150 plus rush yards 8 times this year. 12 of their 14 games, they've allowed more than 100. Their run defense is not good. And this is going to be an 18-degree game with 25-mile-an-hour winds and snow on the ground. Like, I'm not ready to hit Tennessee minus 6.5, but I have a strong lean right now. By Saturday morning, I might be hitting it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of like Tennessee here for the sole fact of Tractor Cito season. But other than that, like, Malik Willis hasn't looked good. That offense hasn't looked good. They haven't been able to get open with their receivers. So, tough to say, but, I mean, it's one of those where it's like Houston's also been playing out of its mind. Like, there's got to be some regression there. Tennessee's been playing bad.
Yeah. I feel like every year Houston has a run where they're like, oh, dang, they actually might be pretty feisty. And then, like, after 2 or 3 games of it, they get destroyed by 30 points. And like, I think that's coming soon. I'm just not sure if it's this week or not, and I need to stew a little more on it.
Yeah, I mean, if I were willing to bet, I would say it's this week, just for the sole fact of they just suck against the Texans, or they suck against the Titans.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I have 3 strong leans this week, and I'm probably only going to pick one of them. I'm trying to pick which one still.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm not taking this one. So we'll move on to the next week. We have Buffalo going to the Big Apple, Chicago Bears, spread of 9, total of 40.5. Model leans the Chicago at a 50%
Barely.
confidence and leans the over. So this is another one I'm not touching. If I were to touch this game, it would be the over, but the weather, I don't know. I mean, Justin Fields can still run in cold weather, so maybe over 40. I mean, I don't know.
You know who the Bears' most targeted receiver was on Sunday?
Equinemius St. Brown.
No, he got hurt. Dante Pettis.
Oh, the legend, the man himself.
The Bears are like overperforming right now. Justin Fields just putting them on his back and being like, "Come with me." I mean,
This is what I've been saying for weeks. It's like this is the absolute best case scenario. You have one of the worst rosters of football, maybe one of the worst like receiving cores, and I would be willing to put this receiving core against the worst receiving cores of the last 20 years, and I think they would rank towards the top of the list. And Justin Fields is going out there and balling out every week. He's making big time throws. He's making plays with his legs. Offensive line is playing better, but it's a patchwork offensive line at best.
Just got a lot of injuries last week.
The defense isn't good, but they're overperforming, and that usually comes from confidence of somewhere. So it's like this team is buying into Justin Fields, and they look good. They look competent. Like they don't look bad, even though you know they're a bad team, and that's got to come from somewhere. So either Eberflus is just like getting the most out of these guys, or like they ride or die for Justin Fields, or maybe both. But
I think
like
it's both.
If I'm a Bears fan, I'm like thrilled right now. And I mean, I was on record of wanting Justin Fields on the Cowboys. So I'm a Justin Fields guy.
So this number, like, it was 8.5 for the Packers game. Bills are a lot better than the Packers, and the Bears didn't cover against the Packers. The Bears covered last week against Philly, who looked bad for them. Jalen Hurts was playing with an injury and coming off a bye week where they completely changed up their defense, so it was all unscouted to Philly. Like, Buffalo, I'm staying away from this. I won't touch it just because of Justin Fields, but like, Buffalo is the cream of the crop. I would not be too confident in betting the Bears here.
Yeah, I'm not touching this game. If I touch this game, it's gonna be the over, just because I think Justin Fields can run for 2 touchdowns, and Eddie Pinheiro has been decent enough to kick a field goal for him. So I think the Bears can get to 17 points, and I think if that's the case, the over's it's going over easily. Isn't that your kicker?
No, he's been gone for a while. Cairo Santos.
That's what I meant. Where is Eddie Pinheiro? He's somewhere.
So Cairo Santos probably won't make a single kick, because as I've been brushing up on my meteorology degree, it's going to be 10 degrees with 20 to 30 mile per hour winds and snow on the ground. It's going to be a pretty rough.
That's perfect. Game. No, just bomb them. That's when you make 50-yarders. Look at Matt Gay.
Not if your name is Carlos Santos.
Cairo.
Carlos.
Not the same guy?
So back in like 2015, the Bears signed Cairo Santos for like 2 weeks, and John Fox in a press conference called him Carlos.
Oh yeah, that's like Dan Quinn calling that linebacker in Hard Knocks Rodrigo, because his last name is Rodriguez.
Yeah,
but they all bought in and they all love Rodrigo. But yeah, that's funny. All right,
staying in Chicago, and he will ever be Carlos Santos.
Yeah, so if I'm touching this game, it's going to be the over, but probably not touching that game. We'll move on to what a rough game. We got Desmond Ridder Atlanta Falcons versus probably Tyler Huntley, Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are 7.5 point home favorites here. Total of 37.5. Model likes Atlanta at plus or at 85% confidence. I'm assuming that's Atlanta's. I mean, Desmond Ritter didn't look good this past week. Marcus
Yeah, I mean,
Mariota had
that's
knee surgery,
Marcus Mariota that they're talking about.
and
Or
Marcus
the model's
Mariota
talking
just
about.
I guess he needed knee surgery, but like nobody knew about it. And then like as soon as he wasn't starting anymore, he was like, "I'm gonna go get my knee fixed." Like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, if you're a veteran quarterback looking for another job, obviously you want to get your knee fixed as soon as possible. But it's like that division is still technically up for grabs, and it's like if Desmond Ritter's not good, like I'm assuming they would put Mariota back in if they could. But like now Mariota's out for the season. So it just seems a little weird that, yeah, Mariota's older. I mean, he's going to want another job. I guess get your knee fixed as soon as you can, but it
Yeah,
didn't
he's
really
running out of time.
seem necessary or not. I don't know. Just didn't even know he needed knee surgery. Then, like, as soon as he lost a certain job, he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go get knee surgery." Like, it's never on the injury report all year. Like, just a weird thing. And it's like usually, I don't know. Maybe I don't. Just a weird situation. But
The
yeah,
guy
total
fighting for his
37 and a
NFL
half.
life probably was keeping it under wraps, and then he got benched. And he's like, "Screw this! I'm gonna be ready for the start next season."
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what's best for you. I mean, on a team like this, to where the head coach would never really commit to you. I mean, the head coach said 3 weeks prior, he's like, "Well, as soon as we're out of playoff contention, we're benching Marcus Mariota," which is, I guess, makes sense because you have a rookie quarterback, but
Yeah,
you also kind of know what you have out of your rookie quarterback this far into a season. It's like if he's not very good, why not leave Mariota out there? And like maybe like Mariota's still kind of young enough to where he can have like a Ryan Tannehill resurgence to where he can be good enough to like win you games if you got a good roster around him. Like
he
I don't
shouldn't
know.
have wasted 2 years in Vegas as a highly paid backup if he really wanted to get a starting job back. Like
Yeah,
that was.
it's
I mean, it's never a mistake
just
to
a
take
weird
$20 million
scenario.
or whatever it was, but like you don't get
And
any
then he would
younger
have
either.
but I mean he also would have had an opportunity in Vegas. And didn't he tear his knee up in Vegas or something? Like
Yeah.
so I mean
He
and
never had an opportunity to sit behind Derek Carr, though. It's just hoping Derek Carr gets hurt, right?
yeah, but I mean at the time John Gruden was highly respected and he probably still is behind closed doors. And might be one of those things where you go sit behind Carr for 2 years and then Gruden hypes you up to his. I mean, Gruden had a lot of influence, so maybe in his mind he was like, I can go get paid $20 million and I can leave this system and I'm gonna get a lot of people are gonna, I don't know, vouch for me essentially.
Yeah, maybe.
But
But
I mean, $20 million.
your time's short, man. Your time's short.
Yeah, I mean it just depends on what you value more. Do you want to be a starter in the NFL or do you just want to make a lot of money? You can make a lot of
Yeah, I
money
can't
as a
blame a guy.
backup.
I can't blame a guy for taking the
You
20
make a-
million either.
And he's a first round pick, and he's already made money too. So
Yeah.
just keep cashing those checks, boy. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one here. We have the Giants going to Minnesota. Minnesota's 3.5 point favorites at home. Total of 47.5.
Can I add a note on the Atlanta game?
Yeah.
So Ritter looked bad, but Atlanta's only failed to cover 7 points 3 times all season. That's all I got. I'm not betting it. I thought that was a good that. That is what kept me from even thinking about betting the Ravens here.
Tyler Algier also looked very good last week. So take that for
Yeah.
what you will. Then we'll move on. We got the Giants going to Minnesota. Minnesota 3.5 point favorites. Haven't looked good here recently. Total of 47.5. Model likes the Giants at a 75% confidence and also likes the under here. It's another game I'm not touching. A lot of weird lines for me this week, but what do you got here?
Well, the weather's going to be beautiful. It's going to be indoors. So that's a plus here. Man, so this is one that I'm leaning on. Like how I said, I have a few strong leans. This is one of them. New York Giants have been held to 21 or fewer points 9 out of 14 games this year. Minnesota's been held to 21 points only 3 times all year. I'm just not sure that the Giants have the offensive firepower, or anywhere close to the defensive talent that you need to stop the Vikings offense to really hang in this game. I don't like the half. I wish I got the hook out of there because I want it at 3. If it's at 3, I want to hit it, and I'm stewing on this one too. This is one of those strong leans that I said. Fun? Yeah, Minnesota -3.5, where I'm not completely sold yet, but I'm gonna be sold on one of these strong leans come game day.
Yeah, so this is one of those scenarios where the Giants are just well coached. Brian Daboll is an incredible coach. He's gonna have these guys ready. Yeah, they don't really match up in talent, but at the end of the day, Justin Jefferson's so damn good.
Yeah. Like, who's going to stop Justin Jefferson on that Giants defense? I don't.
Justin Jefferson is approaching, like, best player in the league status. Like, can't guard him. Like, I think last week he had, like, 1 catch for, like, 17 yards at halftime and ended the game with 13 catches, 150 yards. Like, stupid.
Yeah. And like, how are the Giants going to match that? Let alone stop it, just match it. You know,
I think
they can't pass the football.
KJ Osborne was like, while Justin Jefferson, like, because he had like a little ankle thing or something and missed a little bit of the first half, and then KJ Osborne just stepped up, and then Adam Thielen's still just very sure-handed and there for him as well. TJ Hawkinson's played well for him, and I just don't know if New York has the weapons, but then at the same time, like, New York might not have the weapons to stop them, but then what if Saquon goes off, or I don't know, what's that Richie James or whatever his name is? Like, I don't even. It's crazy that the Giants are position themselves to essentially, like, I think they're like 80% to get into the playoffs at this point, and I can name 3 offensive players, and 2 of them are offensive linemen. Like.
Yeah, I mean, they can't pass the football, and I don't think you can beat the Vikings. You can come within 4 points of the Vikings if you can't pass the football.
Yeah, but but Saquon can also be Saquon and rush for 190 and 3 touchdowns.
He can, but I don't think 21 points is going to be enough.
It might not, but it could be. I don't know. I mean, Kirk Cousins can. Kirk Cousins can be Kirk Cousins at any time. Like. Kirk Cousins.
Nah, man. I think this is a noon Saturday game. This is what Kirk Cousins lives for.
Do you know that Kirk Cousins is responsible for the last 2 largest regular season comebacks?
Is that right? NFL?
Yeah, you like that game where he was looking bald as hell, running out with the Washington Football Skins? 24 points, comeback. And then this game, 33 points. We're not going to talk about the other side of it because I'm not going to bury a veteran who's an MVP who probably should be a Hall of Famer someday. I'm not going to do that to Matt Ryan. I'm not going to talk about 28-3. I'm not going to talk about the largest blown lead in regular season history. Like, poor Matt Ryan. But yeah, Kirk Cousins responsible for the last 2 largest comebacks in recent football history. So I don't know.
Kirk Cousins lives for Saturday football, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it also helps if you have Justin Jefferson.
It does. It helps a lot when you have Justin Jefferson.
So he didn't even get a touchdown, or I don't think he got a touchdown. But anyway, moving on. I'm not touching that game. We'll move on to Cincinnati Bengals. I said last week that they were a team on the fringe of competing for a Super Bowl. They're all the way in now. I might be more confident in the Bengals making a Super Bowl run right now than maybe any team in the league. I mean, if you told me right now Super Bowl was going to be Cincinnati versus the 49ers, I would think that would be the most likely scenario out of any scenario possible. Not Vegas odds wise, just how teams in the NFL are playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, since he's a wagon right now, Like
That
their
defense is so
offense
damn good.
just ridiculous. That
I
defense
mean,
is
you know what the
talented.
offense is. I mean, you know Joe Burrow's great. Samaj P. Ryan can get it done. Joe Mixon can get it done. Tyler Boyd can get it done. Jamar Chase can get it done. T. Higgins will probably be a number one receiver on most teams in the league. T. Higgins would be the best wide receiver the Bears have had since Brandon Marshall, and he's their third option. It's like, it's
Higgins
crazy.
might legitimately be one of the best wide receivers in the league right now. Like he is
Yeah.
playing that well. But I hesitate on this one because their best pass rusher, Trey Hendrickson, is out after last week. Chidobe Awuzie, their top corner.
I'm not talking about this week.
Last week.
I'm talking about if
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about this game.
yeah, okay, yeah, sorry.
Chidobe
we
Awuzie,
are talking about this week, so
number one corner, out this week. Mike Hilton, their slot cornerback, out after last week. They got banged up going up against Tampa. When I first saw this, I loved it -3.5. Now I hesitate a little bit more. I mean, the weather's not going to be too bad there. 10, 20 mile an hour winds, 26 degrees, a nice summer day in Boston. But I'm leaning Bengals, but this isn't one of those strong leans. This is one is just, I promise I do have real picks coming, but
yeah, so I don't have a side in this game. I'm taking under 41.5. I love both these defenses. Even with who the Bengals are missing on defense, I don't think Patriots have enough firepower. I think Bengals will still be able to stop the run. I think Bengals might be able to score early and then take advantage of Mac Jones trying to throw the football more times than he should. The only thing that scares me about this is if Patriots go down 17-0 or something and stick to the run game, because I think Patriots sticking to the run game can kill this under for me. As crazy as that sounds, but no, I like under 41.5 here. I think the Bengals will be able to keep the Patriots well below 13 points, and Patriots might have the best, if not a top 5 defense in the league. And I just don't know how much the Bengals are really going to try to air it out again with Matthew Judon breathing down their neck when if they get an early lead, they can ride on their two very, very good running backs and an offensive line that's been playing incredibly well here lately. So I like the Bengals to run the ball a lot in the second half and be able to keep the Patriots in check. So I love the under 41.5 here.
makes sense. Like it.
All right, we'll move on to the Detroit Lions, 6-1 in their last 7 games, going to the Carolina Football Panthers. Panthers 2.5-point underdogs at home, total of 44. Model likes Carolina slightly with the over here. What do you got?
Yeah, not even over 50%. It likes Carolina. It thinks that this game is neither team is hitting a 50% probability to cover. Which, when you think about it, the model thinks that 2.5 points is a legitimate outcome, which it's not, but that's math for you. This game is just like the Steelers game against Carolina last week to me. Two teams that are relatively close in talent. I think Detroit's a little more talented, but give me the team that's better in the trenches. Give me Detroit. That D-line has been eating the last few games. They have the talent, the first-round talent, second-round talent. That defensive line started showing up. They have one of the most talented offensive lines in the NFL. Within 3 points, give me Detroit. -2.5. And then on total, I actually kind of like the over. I'm not betting it, but the over is interesting to me because it's going to be to keep the weather trend going for you. 34 degrees with 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, so it's not going to be bad.
Yeah, everything you said about Detroit, I really love. I love the Lions in this game -3. I love the way they're playing football right now. I love the way their defense has come on here recently. So, yeah, what's not to love about this Lions team?
Make it 2 units. Putting 2 units on Detroit this week.
I might follow you on that because, I mean, yeah, Carolina, they can be frisky, but Carolina's not playing for everything. Lions are playing for everything right now. And
football is life if you're a Detroit Lions.
Jared Goff, I called it in the offseason, like, he's not bad. Like, I'm not gonna say
He's fine. He's
we
fine.
we were 2 weeks into the season when we had this argument, but like Jared Goff's not bad. He's fine, and he's got weapons all over the field. Like, they took another deep shot to Jameson Williams, barely missed it. Like, he's gonna come on. He is coming on. Amon-Ra St. Brown's incredible. The offensive line is incredible. DeAndre Swift is finally healthy, starting to get his groove on. Like, and this is a team that played the Eagles close. Like, a lot of their losses were to really good teams that they played close. Like, they destroyed the Jaguars, who might be one of the hottest teams in football not even 3 weeks ago. Like, I love everything about this Lions team. We've been a Lions podcast from day one. Their defense has gotten so much better than it was earlier in the season. And yeah, I like the cut of their jib right now. I love the Lions -3 here. I'll put 2 units on it with you.
Detroit Lions, we like the cut of your jib.
Yes, sir.
I like that phrase.
We'll move on. Oh, gross. New Orleans Saints going to Cleveland. 3-point line. Cleveland's favorite at home. 31.5 point total. Model likes Cleveland at 50% confidence. Likes the over here. I'm not touching this game. I need the Cleveland Browns to have a monster game for my fantasy season. I said it last week. I have Chubb, I have Watson, I have Njoku. Probably a bad plating on me. I expected this offense to be explosive when Watson came back. Just a bad prediction on my part. So, and then the Saints, like, I guess they're just not. They're not going to play Jameis. I don't know. They're in a race for the division, and they just keep throwing Andy Dalton out there, and they get receivers that can catch the ball. They have an explosive running back. You have a guy in Jameis that's like, yeah, he might make mistakes, but you have a really good defense, and you're not scoring points on offense. And even if Jameis makes mistakes, he puts up points. So it's like, why aren't they playing? I don't know what's going on with this team. I'm not touching this game.
These are two of the most frustrating teams to bet this year. Like, you don't know what you're going to get from week to week. New Orleans has only covered one game on the road this season. Like, can they cover on the road? I don't know. I don't know what I can expect from Cleveland either though. Since Deshaun Watson's started the lineup, that offense has been so, like, beyond stagnant.
It's crazy that they're not running. Like, I kind of said last week, like, yeah, maybe they're running the ball because they want to see what they have in Deshaun Watson. But at the same time, it's like, maybe that'll help them a little bit. When they were able to win against Baltimore and they still didn't run, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
weird.
Just like I've heard some sharps are big on Cleveland in this game. But 3 is not, like, I'm not confident about -3. I feel like you're betting for a push at that point. But the thought process is New Orleans hasn't been able to cover on the road. They've historically been rough in cold weather, like, for a long time. And yeah, that's basically it with the conditions. It's going to be 14 degrees with 10 to 15 mile an hour winds and snow on the ground. Like, that's the logic for betting Cleveland, but I'm staying away from it.
Yeah, we'll move on here. We have Seattle going to Kansas City. Kansas City 9.5 point favorites at home. Total of 48.5. Model like Seattle here, 85% confidence. Maybe or maybe not have Kenneth Walker. Kansas City has been back-to-back weeks of not covering. Big spreads, another big spread versus a team that's looked competent all year, but really might be the wheels might be falling off a little bit for Seattle. I'm not touching this one. Spreads. This seems like a get-right game for Kansas City, but it also seems like Seattle still has a little bit of hope left in them, and maybe Kenneth Walker's healthy and has a big game, but I'm not touching it. What do you got here?
I mean, I'm working under the assumption that Kenneth Walker's back because he played last week, and you can run a little against KC. Like, some of their metrics are solid against the run, but they're not dominant by any means. Seattle's shown a really strong run game this year when Ken Walker's in the game. Kansas City's only covered 10 points 3 times this year. Like, they've only won by 10 points or more 3 times this year. Seattle's only failed to cover 10 points 3 times this year. 10 points is just too big a number here for me. And I got it at 10, not 9.5. If it was 9.5, I would have stayed away, but I got that 10 number. So yeah. I took Seattle plus 10.
Might be a good teaser play if you're doing a 6-point teaser. or a 7-point teaser. You want to take that down to 2.5, 3.5. I think Chiefs cover that easily, but yeah, at that number, no, I don't really like it. Moving on here, kind of talked about this before the pod a little bit. The Washington football is going to the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco's 7-point favorites at home with a total of 39.5. Model likes this at 72% confidence for the Washington football Skins, and they like the under here. What do you got?
I think the model's wrong. This is my last strong lean. This is my third one that I'm picking between either Tennessee, Minnesota, or San Francisco. San Francisco's covered. They've won by more than 7 in 5 of their 7 home games this year. Like they have been
Might be the hottest team in football
at home, and their defense has been on fire. You can't score against them. I mean, they only failed against Kansas City and the Chargers, and they won by 6 against the Chargers. They almost covered 7 against the Chargers.
Yeah.
The only team that they didn't come close to covering against was Kansas City of a 7-point spread, like a imaginary 7-point spread over every game. Let's see. And Washington just doesn't have the firepower to play catch up. So if they get an early lead, they're off to the races.
So my only thought on this game is Brock Purdy had flashes in college, but it would always come back down to earth. And if we see a come back down to earth moment for Brock Purdy, I could see it being this week. But if that doesn't happen, so this offense improved whenever Trey Lance went down and Jimmy G came in. The offense got better. Then they go get Christian McCaffrey and the offense got better. Then we lose Jimmy Garoppolo. But then in comes Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was damn near perfect last week. And he's got weapons all over the place. Even missing Deebo Samuel, there's weapons all over the place. They can still run the ball very well. So this game terrifies me. Probably won't touch it. But there's something in me saying Washington's going to give Brock Purdy the fear of God this game. And if it doesn't happen this week, I might be ready to crown San Francisco 49ers as the NFC champions, because if it's not this week, then it's just I don't think it's a matter of when, because if he can stand in there and deliver a good game, whether it's 17 for 23 for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns, that's all you need to do as the San Francisco 49ers quarterback right now. And if he can keep playing mistake-free football, hitting his checkdowns, making big-time throws, which he's done so far, this is the most dangerous team in football. So I'm not touching the spread.
Yeah.
We'll move
if
on.
One defensive coach who can do it to Purdy, it's probably Rivera. So that's my hesitation of not just taking it.
Yeah, we'll move on to the Philadelphia Eagles going to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is 6-point favorites in this game, total of 46.5. Model likes Philly at 64% confidence and likes the over at 58% confidence. I will go ahead and take this one here. This game, with 3 minutes left, and Eagles, Bears, Cowboys, Jaguars. This game probably had some of the biggest implications of any regular season game the entire season this year as far as seeding goes. You have two of the best teams in the NFC going heads up and possibly losing their chance to be a 1 seed and having to go on the road in the first round of the playoffs. The Cowboys absolutely shit the bed, and the Eagles pulled it out. So kind of lost all the buzz here. This is a game Gardner Minshew will most likely be starting, and it's not really the must win as it was for the Cowboys. Yeah, it'd be nice to get the win and just basically go ahead and secure a for sure playoff spot. But I mean, hell would have to fall out of the sky for Cowboys to miss the playoffs at this point. So that's not that big of a deal. It's not really a must win game. So not really looking at the spread here, but I do like the over 46 here. I think Gardner Minshew is going to ball out. I think the Cowboys will be able to score on that defense that Philly has. And I do think Cowboys are going to try to win this game. Or try to win every game, but I think the Cowboys show up for this game. And over Dak Prescott's career, I think I could be wrong about this. So if I'm wrong about this, tar and feather me in the streets. So I apologize ahead of time, but I don't think Dak Prescott's ever lost to Philly.
could be right. I feel like he's done well against them.
So, and if I'm wrong on that, like I said, bang bang bird gang, you can shut up. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm taking over 46 here. I think we'll get points here. Cowboys defense is missing a lot, and even with Philly's defense looking as good as they've looked the last couple of weeks, I hate to say like you haven't played anybody, but it's like haven't really played anybody. So I like the over here. I like the over a lot. 46 playing in that fast track AT&T Stadium, Jerry World. I think the Cowboys score, and I think Gardner Minshew can ball out for them. So yeah, over 46 for me.
We them boys.
You got nothing
I
on
got
that
the
one?
Cowboys.
You got
We them
Cowboys?
I got it at -3. I got it at -3 yesterday.
Before the
And-
Jalen Hurts news?
Right when it broke, actually. I got a nice little tip that Jalen Hurts might not be starting and was able to go grab it before it was officially announced, which was a nice surprise.
That is
So I got Cowboys -3. At -6, I probably wouldn't touch it. I just don't think it would be worth the risk. I mean, with Philly's just still very talented. A lot of the stuff you said, I really agree with. The only thing that scares me a little is Philly could have the element of surprise here with a much more open passing game and spread concepts that they haven't shown with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Because Minshew can run an air raid offense. Like, I mean, he can run all sorts of spread concepts.
They got the talent for it.
Yeah.
Jalen Reagor, I could see Jalen Reagor just having a monster game here, and then the Cowboys shutting down like Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, and Jalen Reagor of all people goes for. He's gone, isn't he? What am I talking about? He's on the
Quez
Watkins.
Watkins.
Quez Watkins. Yeah, just like the third receiver going out there and getting like 9 for 160 and 2 touchdowns. Like that seems like a typical Cowboys game. Like new quarterback, like maybe like because usually like the backup has like a better rapport with like the lower guys on the depth chart. So I could see like the third receiver who might run the one for scout team or something that I don't know, just one of those things. Like he might have the best relationship with a guy like that, and then goes out there and Quez Watkins just lights up the world.
Yeah, that's a Gardner Minshew move right there.
But yeah, I like the over here. I think we'll get points in that game.
Yeah.
So we go to the Las Vegas Raiders going down to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's 3-point favorites at home, 38.5 point spread. Pittsburgh is favored in this game, even though Raiders have played pretty well recently.
I swear to God, the Raiders were favorites at one point, and then it switched on me.
Yeah.
I can't verify that, but like when I first started doing this, they were favorites, I thought, and then I came back later and they were dogs all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is the rat line of the week for sure. But 38.5 point total. Vegas or the model likes Vegas at 78% confidence, likes the over as well here. I'm not like I said, this is my rat line of the week. I saw this line, I saw this game, and I was like, oh, I'm taking Raiders here. Like I thought it was going to be a pick 'em, Raiders -1. I was like, oh yeah, I'm taking Raiders
thought
here.
Pittsburgh was dogs. I was like, I'm all over Pittsburgh. Like, but then they weren't dogs. Maybe they never were, and I just can't read. I don't know. But if you're looking to bet Pittsburgh, I'll give you some reasons why. 11 degrees, snow on the ground, 25-mile-an-hour winds. Over the last 5 years, and these are 15 games from Derek Carr in December and January on the road. He has 16 touchdowns, 19 interceptions, and 11 fumbles. So if you're looking for a reason to bet the Steelers, that's a pretty good reason. But if you're looking for a reason to bet the Raiders are 7-8 against the spread in those games somehow. So
yeah, and
you're screwed if you do, you're screwed if you don't kind of game. I'm just not touching it.
Well, like I gotta give Josh Jacobs some love here real quick. Oh, yeah. Like out of the who is their coach and GM at that? John Gruden and who's their GM? Mike Mayock.
He was.
Yeah. Out of that group who drafted all those first round picks, Like, I'm pretty sure Josh Jacobs the only one left. Am I wrong? Am I speaking out of pocket here?
First round picks, probably. He's probably the only guy left.
And
There was Henry Ruggs, and there was Jonathan Abrams, and Alex
they cut both of them,
Leatherwood, and
cut him.
yeah.
But anyway, he's the only one left, and he just didn't get his 5th-year option picked up. Like, and he's been solid for him, but like he's having a monster year. I'm pretty sure he's leads the league in rushing, unless I'm wrong. And he's got a lot of touchdowns. I'm not a stats guy, so I don't really look up stats, but like I'm almost positive he leads the league in rushing. And I know he's scored a lot of touchdowns.
He's having a hell of a year.
So I could see him going out there, but I mean TJ Watt makes such a difference for this Pittsburgh team.
And this
like the numbers of how good that team performs for a defensive player for when he plays compared to when he doesn't play are like astronomical. Like if we're talking pure like MVP, like value, most valuable player, it might very well be TJ Watt.
If I really wanted to bet this game, it would come down to the trenches, and I'd be betting Pittsburgh. But I don't want to bet it, so I'm not.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not touching this game. But I just wanted to give some love to Josh Jacobs because I feel like he gets overlooked quite a bit. But we'll move on to Green Bay versus Miami. I'll just go. Miami's 5.5-point favorites at home, 46.5-point spread. Green Bay is the pick for the model at 69% confidence, and the model likes the under here. I'm terrified Green Bay's making the playoffs.
Me too.
They're on the verge. Like they lose one and they're out, but Aaron Rodgers is going on post game saying like, basically saying like all we have to do is beat the Lions. And like he said that snide remark last night, like, well, we got another team in the division at 500. Like, it's just one of those. It's gonna be like an all-time soundbite. Like somehow the freaking the Packers are gonna play the Vikings in Minnesota the first round, win, and then they're probably gonna play like the Cowboys in the second round. No, they wouldn't play the Cowboys, but go to Philly and beat Philly in the second round, and then if it's the 49ers, he'll lose. So this is basically lining up for like the Cowboys to make their first NFC championship since 95 and losing to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And if that happens, you might never see me again.
So I agree with you in that I'm scared they're going to go on this magical run. But at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers still looks like shit. He did not look good last night either. He looked bad last night. Yeah, but he's flat out bad.
Back-to-back MVP. He's still Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I think he's still going to be good next year, but I think that there's something up this year. He's not right. I mean, he just looked straight up bad last night on a few big moments. I'm taking Miami -6 here. I got the number early. It's moved a little since then. The thing that worries me about this one is the home field advantage. Miami's gone. It's going to be 60 degrees and it's going to be cloudy. So you don't have the sun helping you. You don't have the heat helping you. But Green Bay allows explosive plays on explosive plays. Their defense has just been an explosive play.
Can Miami make explosive plays?
Is Tyreek Hill any good?
I don't know. Raheem Mostert, check star? Jalen Waddle, check star?
He's a little fast. Like, I think Miami's going to put up points, and I don't know if Green Bay can answer, especially with A.J. Dillon in concussion protocol right now.
I hope you're right. I'm petrified right now. I don't even think about it. Do we have to talk about the Broncos going to the Rams?
If I didn't bet the Broncos last week, I'd be betting them this week, but I'm not tempting fate, so I'm staying away.
Yeah, I could say we just don't have to talk about that game if you're okay with that.
That was talking Broncos Rams.
I was talking Broncos Rams. All right. Oh, this is another one. We have the division leader, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going to the Arizona Cardinals with Colt McCoy. in company. Is Colt McCoy got a concussion last week, so
Yeah, I mean, we
don't-
might be seeing Trace McSorley again. I don't know.
oh my goodness. Okay. Cardinals are 6-point underdogs at home with a 41-point total here. Model likes Arizona. I'm guessing that's assuming Kyler Murray is playing, and at worst, Colt McCoy is playing, and it leans the over. I'm not touching this game. Tampa's another one of those. Tampa, like, I don't hate Tom Brady like I hate Aaron Rodgers, so it wouldn't hurt me as much if they make the run. But Tampa, all the guys are still there. The defense isn't bad. It's not great. Tom Brady still has the arm strength. Like, if they can find a way to protect this man going down the stretch, which they haven't been able to do all year, but if they just give this man a little time, like, he still has pop off the ball coming off the arm. Godwin's still good. Mike Evans is still good. Julio Jones has shown flashes. Like, they have some tight end help. Like, I don't know what it is about Tampa Bay. Like, they're not good, but can they be good? Like, is it possible for them to be good? I don't know. We're obviously not talking about Arizona in this game. And I don't even want to talk about the spread, but just talking about Tampa Bay for a second, like, most likely going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
And
we're seeing what happens when your tone-setting leader of your offensive line at center, who makes all the calls and has a good relationship with the veteran quarterback, is done for the year early in the season. It's they haven't been able to replace Ryan Jensen, and it's a real problem.
It's a very real problem, and probably one of the worst Cowboys losses all year in hindsight. But they had Ryan Jensen for that game, I believe.
And I'm actually I'm on Tampa minus 4.5 in this game. This line has moved a lot since it opened. 4.5 was a very friendly number to me for a team who is talented in Tampa against a backup quarterback that might be Trace McSorley.
The worst thing about this game is if Tampa loses this game and everybody else in the division wins, they're still the division leader.
Yeah. I actually think this is a get-right game for Tampa. I think Arizona's checked out and done.
Every game's a get-right game for Tampa. They don't play nobody. Like, they have a pretty easy schedule. They're going to win the division at 6-11.
Yeah. I don't know if it will get them right, but I think it's an easy win, is what I'm trying to say.
Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know. I know, like, Cowboys are going to Tampa. Either way, Cowboys have never beat Tom Brady in his history. So I don't know.
Just sign Nick Foles. It's that easy.
As a Cowboys fan, I'm in shambles right now.
Just sign Nick Foles. You sign Nick Foles, you beat Tom Brady. It's as simple as that.
Another just game here. We have the Chargers going to Indianapolis. 46.5-point total. Model likes Indianapolis at 71% confidence to cover the spread here with a lean towards the under. Another game I'm not taking here. Indy, brutal blow. Like, poor Matt Ryan. Like,
what the fuck are the Colts? Ryan. Like, how do you do this like 2 weeks in a row of just dying in a second half?
I don't know.
Like, what on earth are they doing to just exhaust their players this much that they can't even play in the second half?
I don't know. I guess Jeff Saturday is like trying to be like good old boys, like maybe like push them too hard. Like, I don't know. Sometimes
are they like running wind sprints 5 days a week or something? Like, I just don't get it.
I don't know. There's something off there, and like,
yeah, it's bizarre. I've never seen a team that dies like that 2 weeks in a row.
They lost Jonathan Taylor in like the first 3 minutes of that game against the Vikings, but Deion Jackson's played well for him in his absence, and it's one of those things where it's like all you gotta do is just finish the game, and
mean, you're up 31-0. You can run every single down a 3-and-out and probably win, right? Like, run 40 seconds off the clock every single down, 3-and-out punt, and you're probably going to come out winning.
Yeah, and then basically all they had to do was force the Vikings to essentially go 86 yards, and if it would have taken the Vikings to go 86 yards and 45 seconds, they'd basically win the game. And they give up an 86-yard touchdown run to Dalvin Cook on the first play of the drive, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's
Speaking of
still
which,
3
how on
minutes
earth-
left in this game.
How are you not just in prevent defense?
Yeah.
Make them just make them burn clock. For fuck's
if they
sake,
would've
giving
ju-
up an
if they-
86-yard touchdown at that moment is like the worst thing on earth.
Yeah.
So don't even let the thought cross their mind. Just say, well, give me 15, 20 yards, all you want. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
like-
And
God.
I don't know. But are you touching this game?
No. Not with
Indy's
a
good enough to
10-foot pole.
cover.
I don't
Indy's
know
good
if the
enough to
Chargers
cover.
can stop the run. And
I don't know what to think
weird
about the
things happen
Chargers.
in Indy. Weird things happen in Indy.
These two teams are both like gross.
It's a 4-point number. Like, no.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
I agree. So, yeah, that's week 16 for you. Get
It's
some
ugly,
good
it's
matchups.
brutal, it's going to be cold and snowy and a blizzard, and you just don't want to go
Christmas time,
outside.
though.
And it's going to
Merry
be Christmas.
Christmas.
I forgot about that. It is Christmas. This is the Christmas episode. How could I forget that? Merry Christmas.